live update, kind of go through the forecast for the next couple of days and what you can expect heading on into this weekend. So if you can give me about 30 seconds to a minute, we'll get started with this in full. But in the meantime, I will flip this around, show you how our upper level pattern is like right now, and a little bit of the moisture that's in the atmosphere kind of gives you a sense of where our showers, or I say our showers, where our storm system is coming from, and when, what kind of impacts that we could see from it. So most everything's working here behind the scenes, just getting one thing real quick, and then we will get started. There we go, and the chat section's working as well. So I know we will get a few more people to work their way in to watch here in the next couple of minutes, but in the meantime, we'll get started with this. Hope you're having a great Thursday evening. I hope you've enjoyed the warm, sunny weather that we've seen across the area. That will, for the most part, continue for the next couple of days. We will see a little bit of drop in temperatures as we get into tomorrow, and the reason for that, as we go back to that water vapor loop, is this trough right here starting to dig into the Pacific Northwest. It's going to be pretty moisture starved, so we're not expecting any kind of rainfall, maybe a sprinkle or two with the increase in cloud cover, but really not expecting too much in that kind of impact. What this will do, though, is bring some cooler temperatures into the area and also bring up those winds. That's going to probably be the biggest focus for this particular storm system. So as for tonight, mostly cleared, partly cloudy skies, temperatures for most areas in the 30s and 40s, looking at generally low 40s for much of the region, though you look at Sealy Lake, 38, West Yellowstone at 33 degrees, but overall not too far off from what you'd expect for the end of September across the region. As for tomorrow, big change in those temperatures. Today we saw highs in the 70s and low 80s. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking temperatures into the 60s and lower 70s, so about a 10 to 20 degree swing in those temperatures. As you can see, Deer Lodge, Missoula, 69 degrees, 67 for Butte and Kalispell, 72 places like Dillon, Bozeman, Helena, and Libby. But overall, I think we're still going to be looking at a decent amount of sunshine, especially into the afternoon. That trough's going to bring an increase in cloud cover overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. But again, by the afternoon, as that starts to push off to the east and clearing the area, we'll see clearing skies as well. At least we should. And then we look ahead to the weekend. That ridge of high pressure that's been over the region, that's flattened out this evening, that'll build right back in for Saturday and Sunday. So overall, we're looking at a very nice weekend. Temperatures on Saturday in the 70s. As we get into Sunday, Bozeman, Missoula, we're back into the 80s. Temperatures anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees above average are going to be common once again. So it's going to be a great weekend to get out. Great nights for, Friday night's going to be great for Big Sky Friday nights. Saturday's going to be great for the home games with, homecoming for homecoming for Montana State for their game against Eastern Washington. And then in Missoula is a night game for the Little Brown Stein as the Grizz take on the Vandals of Idaho. So should be a pretty good game there. Again, the weather's going to be great for all of the football over the next couple of days. But if football isn't your taste, or if that's not what you're looking for, how about some autumn leaves? We're starting to see those colors change pretty nicely. We're still in the low to moderate category, at least in the fall color progress, but we are still working our way up towards the peak of the season, which will be coming for, I think this year it's going to be early October. Some years it's late September, some years it's early October. I think we're looking for a little bit more of a delayed peak for our autumn leaves, but overall, we are going to see, we are starting to see some pretty decent patches of that, especially in the higher elevations. So if you're heading to Yellowstone or Glacier National Park this weekend, it could be some pretty views with some of the autumn leaves that are starting to pop across the region. One thing that has definitely helped has been the cooler temperatures we've seen. So we had the frost early in the week. That sort of helps to trigger the leaves to start that color change. So the ones that haven't yet, we'll start to see more of that over the next few days, even with temperatures starting to warm back up. Now, like I said, that trough is moving in. You can see that roughly in here. This is going to move in and move out very quickly. By tomorrow evening, we're starting to see that ridge of high pressure build back into the region. That will stay in place Saturday and into Sunday, though notice back off to the west. We've got this large trough of low pressure. This is going to bring southwesterly flow in, so we're going to see, again, that's one reason we're going to see that increase in temperatures into Sunday afternoon, likely the warmest of the next 7. But watch as this trough fully pushes into the region. That'll be moving more so even into Wednesday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday all have chances for showers across the area, and you'll see those precipitation chances pick up pretty quickly. Monday, Tuesday, anywhere from about, so starting off on Monday, anywhere from about 30 to 60%. Tuesday, we go up to, say, 40 to 80% on those showers. So be prepared for the early parts of next week to be much wetter and much cooler. We're going to see those temperatures back down into the 60s for most areas, and then into parts of southwest Montana, looking at Butte specifically, we could see temperatures down into the 50s by the middle parts of next week. So kind of tracking that out with our regional future tracker. This is, let me go back a little bit further. So Sunday, I will say this, can't rule out an isolated shower down here towards Gardner, West Yellowstone, Yellowstone National Park, right around a 10 to 20% likelihood of that. It's all thanks to that southwesterly flow. But as we get into Monday afternoon, we'll start to see that chance increasing. That's just for the afternoon. Best chances right now do look to be down along and south of Interstate 90, a little bit more isolated into northwest Montana. That may quiet down into Tuesday morning, but then the core of that system starts to move in. So Tuesday, we could be talking at least scattered, if not widespread showers across the area. Wednesday, another round, very similar scattered to widespread activity. So again, a much more active weather period is on the way. We may start to dry out a little bit into Wednesday evening and Thursday, but I think we're going to be looking at another system potentially moving in for Friday and into Saturday morning, something that we'll be keeping a close eye on. And that's really what we're tracking the next couple of days. So here's, this is going to be the wrap up. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask those really quick. I'll try and answer them. But the headlines for the next couple of days: Friday, with that first system, gusty winds 20 to 30 miles per hour can't be ruled out. Temperatures cooling back down into the 60s and 70s. Then this weekend, that storm system pushes out, high pressure builds back in, temperatures 10 to 20 degrees above average. We're talking upper 70s and low 80s for most locations. And then next week, that storm system moves in with increasing rain chances as we go from Monday into Tuesday and Wednesday. There's still a lot of question marks with that next system. Is how deep does that trough push in? How much moisture is going to be involved with it? One thing that's a little bit interesting with it, with that storm system for next week, is that we're kind of waiting on the interaction with an upper level low pressure system and a typhoon over in the western Pacific. That's going to ride up and over top of the ridge, move through places like Alaska, the northern Pacific, and into our area. Really, how those two systems interact with one another will play a role in what we see here in Montana. So it's essentially kind of I'll say this, an Asia connection to our storm system for next week. So a little bit of cool meteorology there that we're going to have to keep a close eye on. There'll be a better idea as we get into Saturday, I think, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, that time frame, about how that system is going to transpire. That is pretty much everything that I have for this evening. If you got any photos or videos of the weather, how you're enjoying it, wildlife, we've got lots of bear videos the last couple of days. Feel free to share those with us at nbcmontana.com/chime in. Tune in to our live broadcast coming up here in just about half an hour for the latest news and weather updates. And then, of course, at NBC Montana Today at, oh my goodness, I forgot what time it was, 5 to 7 a.m. with Jason Hurst and Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster with those latest updates from the overnight period and into tomorrow. And I would say tune in, and I would say I'll be back for another one of these tomorrow evening, but I will actually be gone for a couple of days, going on a little mini vacation. So I'll be back later on next week and we'll have another update likely in that Thursday, Friday time frame. But in the meantime, have a safe evening and have a safe next couple of days. And I will chat with you all next time. And enjoy the moisture that we get as we head into early next week and those warm temperatures this weekend. So enjoy them. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Combs.